All right, today we're going to talk about a story, but not just any story. This one's about one of the oldest things you can find on Earth. And no, I'm not just talking about some old rocks. This is the biography of an ancient giant, something that's literally seen continents move and entire civilizations come and go.
Okay, when you think of massive mountains, what comes to mind? The Himalayas, right? The titans of our planet. But what if I told you there's a mountain range in India that makes the Himalayas look, well, like kids?
And get this, it wasn't just older. At one point, this ancient range was just as tall as the Himalayas are today. I mean, can you imagine? A true monarch of the prehistoric world. So let's meet this giant. We're talking about the Aravalli Range. Now, what you see today is really the eroded stub of a once truly mighty mountain belt. It's this silent witness to billions, with a B, billions of years of history, and it stretches all the way across northwestern India. These days, its highest peak, a place called Guru Shikhar, is about 1,722 meters, which, is still pretty tall, but it's really just a shadow of what it used to be. It's been worn down by literally eons of wind and rain. But don't let that modest height fool you for a second. This thing is vast. We're talking about a range that runs for 670 kilometers. That's from near Delhi all the way down through Rajasthan and dipping into Gujarat. It's huge.
So that's the what and where. But how did this giant even come to be? Well, to answer that, we have to go way, way back. I mean, back to a time when the Earth was a totally different place. We're talking long before the dinosaurs, long before any real complex life even existed.
Okay, so geologists have a name for this. They call the Aravallis fold mountains. And the easiest way to get your head around this is to picture two rugs on your floor. Now, push them towards each other. See how they kind of buckle up in the middle and create a ridge? Well, that is exactly what happened here, but on a planetary scale, with two ancient tectonic plates smashing into each other, forcing the Earth's crust to shoot skyward.
So just to put this into perspective for you, the Aravallis formed about, wait for it, 2.5 billion years ago. The Himalayas, they're just babies, only about 50 million years old. So think of it like this. If the Himalayas are a growing teenager, still getting taller every year, the Aravallis are the wise old grandparent. Their growing days are long, long over, but man, do they have stories written into every single wrinkle. But the story here isn't just about geology and ancient rocks. This range was also a cradle. It was a place that actually nurtured some of the very first human civilizations in this part of the world. Because hidden deep inside these ancient rocks were treasures, real treasures. We've found evidence of people mining for copper and other metals here that goes all the way back to at least 4,000 BCE. Let that sink in. That's over 6,000 years ago.
And this is where it gets really cool. You've heard of the Indus Valley Civilization, right? One of the world's greatest ancient societies? Well, where do you think they got their metal from? Yup, sites like Harappa, they were getting their vital copper straight from the Aravalli Mountains. And we're not talking about just a little bit of metal for decorations. This was the absolute foundation of their technology. This copper became the tools they used, the weapons they fought with, the artifacts they created. I mean, it literally built and sustained their entire sprawling civilization.
Okay, so it was a cradle for human life, for sure. But it was also a lifeline for nature itself. And it still is. Today, the Aravalli Range is basically a living, breathing, ecological backbone for a massive part of India. I mean, for starters, it's the birthplace of 3 major rivers, the Banas, Luni, and Sabarmati. It also acts like this crucial green wall, physically stopping the Thar Desert from creeping eastward. And if that wasn't enough, it actually influences the regional climate, like the monsoon patterns. It really is a lifeline in every sense of the word.
And of course, where you have water and trees, you're going to have life. Lots of it. The range is a total haven for an incredible diversity of wildlife. I mean, we're talking about some serious predators, like leopards, striped hyenas, and golden jackals. All of them call these hills home.
And here's something that's so important. It works as a wildlife corridor. Think of it like a highway for animals. The Suriska Delhi corridor is a great example. It lets all kinds of species move between different habitats. And that's not just a nice to have, it's absolutely crucial for them to survive in the long run.
But, like in any great story, there's a conflict, a turning point. And for this ancient giant, the modern world is posing the biggest threat it has ever faced. But there's also an incredibly ambitious plan to try and save it.
Think about it. For billions of years, the only things that could touch the Aravallis were time and weather. That's it. But now we have illegal mining, cities sprawling out of control, and pollution. And all of it is just scarring the landscape and wrecking its ecosystems at a terrifying speed.
In fact, the problem got so bad that back in 2009, India's Supreme Court actually had to step in. They placed a ban on all mining across a huge stretch of the range. We're talking 448 square kilometers. That alone tells you just how dire the situation had gotten.
So that begs the question, right? How do you save a giant? How do you even begin to heal something that's billions of years old? Especially when it's being torn apart by all these modern pressures. Well, the answer is just as epic as the mountain itself. It's called the Great Green Wall of Aravalli. And it is a project with some seriously historic ambition, all designed to breathe new life back into these ancient hills. And when I say ambitious, I mean it. The scale of this vision is just staggering. The plan? Create a green corridor that's 1,600 kilometers long and 5 kilometers wide. To do that, they're going to plant over 1.3 billion native trees over the next 10 years. This isn't just about a weekend tree planting drive. This is ecological restoration on a continental scale. The goal is to restore the forests, push back the desert, and clean up the air for millions and millions of people.
So, that's where we are. And it leaves us with this one big final question. After literally witnessing the birth of continents, the rise and fall of civilizations, this ancient giant is now facing its biggest challenge yet.